Thanks for joining us here on a 90s Weather Impact Day. I'm 90s Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Chris Bianchi to look at your Colorado weather forecast. And unfortunately, if you're hoping for some relief from this hot and dry weather, we don't really get any meaningful relief until a little bit Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but more next week is when things look better. In the meantime, for today, it continues to be on the hot and dry side. We've called the Weather Impact Day. Obviously, we've got those wildfires in the foothills, but it's the smoke coming from those that's going to impact basically everybody here along the Front Range. It's a rough air quality day, no doubt about it, for us along the Front Range. Let's take a look outside right now. This is what it looks like over Grand Lake. Not seeing a ton of wildfire smoke there. Looks like most of that smoke's going around the Front Range. This is what it looks like, though, from the Four Seasons Hotel, and just that milky look to the sky. Off in the distance, you can see the smoke, and most of that is from the quarry fire, which is burning south and west of Denver, just to the west of Ken Carroll and Deer Canyon. That is leading to those evacuations in Jeffco right now. And again, we're thinking about all those impacted by the fire. Also, all the firefighters who are out there braving extreme heat and very dry conditions to battle these blazes. And certainly grateful and appreciative of all the efforts of those firefighters out there. Meantime, Denver right now, again, that milky sunshine overhead and Lookout Mountain looking increasingly smoky as that's actually looking off to the south. Headlines for today: lighter winds. That's the one bit of good news. And in fact, my colleague meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen behind the TV screen over here, he's been talking about how those lighter winds will hopefully keep those fires in somewhat check for today, and hopefully maybe a little bit of progress here today. I know Corey's a little cautiously optimistic that maybe we end up seeing some of that progress, and Corey really knows what he's talking about with that sort of stuff. So hopefully we can get some progress in there. Here it is. I mean, to Corey's point, I mean, these winds, they're barely moving. I mean, we've got a 12-mile-an-hour wind gust in Bailey, Black Hawk 16-mile-an-hour, and Corey, I'll just defer to you on this one. I mean, that's as light as it gets with these winds, right? It doesn't get lighter than this.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, the winds that we saw over the last 2 days, 15 to 20 miles per hour, that we consider those light winds, relatively speaking. But in a firefight, those 20 to 30 mile per hour winds can be problematic. Not so much for aircraft, but just general operations down on the ground. But I think with these winds, if it stays under 15 miles per hour for the bulk of the day, I think that they're going to really be able to make a lot of progress in these types of winds. And I think the humidity could cut them a little bit of a break too if the humidity levels stay up in the 20% range.
And let's see, well, here's the wind gust forecast. I mean, the forecast, I mean, we may get an occasional 20-mile-an-hour gust, but it's going to stay below 15, it looks like, through the day today. Got a very stagnant air mass place. Now, this is not great. We don't like to see these teens, but when we're talking about red flag days, it's usually in the single digits when we're talking about that relative humidity.
Yeah, I think they generally use under 12%, and yesterday we saw almost every location go into single digits. But at least these are double-digit numbers here.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the questions I'm going to be asking the fire weather meteorologists out on scene today is, does 2 degrees cooler make that big of a difference? Does 10% humidity, make a big enough difference? It seems small, but my feeling is that though that small change is actually much more help than we might realize.
And at the very least, it'll probably prevent a big run on a fire today, right? We'll feel confident about that.
Exactly. And for me, that's what I'm always afraid of. I'm always looking for those conditions that will make those big runs where, it eats 5,000, 10,000 acres a day. And those are the kind of things that are super scary to me. I feel like what these fires have been kind of manageable, certainly menacing to the public and people that live in that area, but these are manageable conditions. What I really fear is those big runs, so at least we don't have those winds in the forecast.
All right, there you have it. Corey's got really good insight there. Temperatures right now, it is almost 90 degrees at 11 a.m. at the airport. By the way, DIA hit 100 degrees yesterday for the 4th time this year. I kind of got lost in a little bit of everything. 4th times through the end of July is very, very unusual for us. In fact, I kind of go back. I think last time we did that was 2012, when we had that huge run in June of those 100-degree days. Meantime, today, 95 are forecast for us here in Denver, and 90s, 100s for us in the Eastern Plains, 70s and 80s in the high country for those high temperatures. Air quality alert until at least 4 p.m. today. for the northeastern quadrant of Colorado, and some of that already extended until 9 a.m. for tomorrow. That is thanks to wildfire smoke and ground ozone. But we're seeing a bit more smoke today thanks to northerly winds. That's behind that cold front they were talking about that's brought down those temperatures by just a little smidge, by a couple degrees. But as we head through today, no meaningful rain chances for us. It's just too dry out there. Tonight we drop back into the low 60s for us here in Denver, and tomorrow we'll be in the upper 90s. Areas of smoke and mostly sunny conditions for us. For tomorrow, highs a couple degrees warmer than today, so maybe those conditions go down a little bit for tomorrow with slightly warmer conditions, maybe a bit more wind for tomorrow as well. 7-day forecast, we do have that weather impact day for today. Then once we get past that, the relative humidity should increase for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then it goes downhill for Monday, but then next Tuesday, if you're looking for something optimistic here, next Tuesday we get some monsoonal moisture that works its way into the picture that will hopefully bring up that relative humidity and increase our rain chances and bring down those temperatures. So if you're looking for some good news, that is it. That by the middle of next week we'll be up there. But today, very likely to be our 9th consecutive day above 90 degrees and our 36th day above 90 degrees so far this year. So top line takeaways, fire conditions today a little better than yesterday. Maybe, as you just heard from Corey, could be meaningfully better today because those winds are so light. Again, about as light of a wind as you can get along the Front Range. So that is good news. Definitely want to take that away. Take that, have that takeaway. Tomorrow, it does look like those conditions go down a little bit because it gets a little warmer, maybe a tad windier. And then by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hopefully, knock on wood, we avoid dry thunderstorms, but we get an increase in relative humidity, and that could be the time when firefighters may get a bit more of a handle on some of these fires. There'll be a hope here, and then by the middle and part next week, I think we got some meaningful moisture moving its way into the picture and much cooler temperatures as well. Well, more details on this for you throughout the day. Once again, it's a 9 News Weather Impact Day, and I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Chris Bianchi. We'll have more for you throughout the day here on 9 News Plus and on the 9 News Family Networks.